Good morning, OxyFit team. Happy Wednesday. I wanted to show you the ECR process that I kind of set up in Odoo so you can get a feel for how that works. Let's begin. Going to start back on our website where we went to the need help, and we're basically going to build out a case here real quick, a ticket, sorry. Okay, so we're going to enter a real quick case. As we'd shown earlier, we're going to make sure that it's tracking to an individual serial number so we know where it's from. So let's submit this. And we get a ticket number, so let's go check that out. Okay, into Helpdesk, I'm going to open my tickets and find 16 down here. We'll jump into this record. So kind of came in, assigned it to Dan Corbett, and I'm the only user right now is active, so it assigned to me too. I built in this functionality. So if I click on bug or engineering issue here, it automatically opens up this engineering change request field. And if I do that, I've loaded 3. So I'm going to say that I've got already one out there for software fix for avatars. Essentially, as tickets come in, I'm going to roll this ticket into an outstanding ECO that we're working on now. Okay, once that's done, let's go look at the ECO itself. I've basically built out a smart button up here that shows me all the affected tickets. So essentially, I can see anything that happened out there in the world. You guys have some cases too that are affected by this blurry screen. Okay, so let's jump into Odoo's PLM module. If I jump in here, I've got 3 different types of ECOs. I've got BOM updates. We talked about kind of efficiency upgrades that maybe aren't necessarily tied to help tickets. I've got software remediation for stuff that is tied, and recalls for stuff that's basically kind of needs to be completely replaced with an RMA. If I jump into changes, I see a different screen that kind of shows me the different ECO stages I set up. I made this up, obviously, but essentially, we're going to work through these stages as we work through these problems. It's very Jira board kind of applicable. So let's jump into our software fix for avatars and let's start this revision. At this point, we're now going to work through this. You can see my stages up here. I don't really have a trick for how you're going to do this, but I imagine you're going to get this assigned out to people and we're going to kind of work through it. When we finish, we need to approve this to get it to move to the next step. So let's show that. Okay, our first step is going to be to move this into an analysis stage. I don't require any approval. I'm just there and I'm kind of working through it. So essentially, if I show you how this works, if I look into the analysis phase, click in this gear, you can see that essentially I'm going to have this for all my ECO types. I'm going to apply to changes as we roll through here, and I've got to do an approval. QA is the role. Before this can move out of the analysis stage. And so if I save this and I try to move this into fixed dev, it's going to yell at me, right? So instead, I want to jump into this and I want to say, yeah, we're good here, and let's approve, and get this to move along to the next stage. All right, and you can kind of see how this is going to roll very Jira board-ish as we move along. Okay, so at some point, we are going to get all the way through this. I'm just going to do that on pause and when we get it over here, because the next step is we need to go back to those tickets and tell everybody it's been fixed and tell them how they can get their software updated. Okay, I've moved it through the entire process from analysis to closed, and if I go look at it, you can see all of the chatter over here, basically, that walked me through that step. You can see the approval steps, you can see who did it, you can see when they did it. So this is super interesting information, and I basically got the entire history of what happened on this individual ECO. All right, now it's time to go look at the tickets. So if we look at these are essentially the 5 issues out there for these 5 customers, I'm in here twice, that are affected by this particular bug. So we need to reach out and tell them about it. To do that, I built out a special button. Now, you didn't see this, and I forgot to tell you that. As we rolled through all of those different ECO stages, until I got to here, this button didn't appear. But now that it's here, I'm going to click this, and it's going to load up a page for me so that I can email these users. I built a little automation that essentially takes all the users that were related to those tickets and calls it up. Now, I've got some junk out here, obviously, with demo users and stuff, but you kind of get the basic idea. If I click on these users, I can then take an action and send them an email. I could write an email if I wanted to, so whatever I wanted to write here, but instead I'm going to use a template, and I'm going to save my fuzzy screen template that essentially puts us together. So I've got my partner's name, what we're doing. I've got my fake download URL that they can download the software update from, And I basically tell them, if you've got anything else, just give us a thing. I'm not going to hit send because some of you guys would actually get emails, but essentially this would send it out to the users so they've got the ability to go fix this. Anyway, that's kind of what we've put together. Obviously, the ECO stages can be dramatically changed. We can even build tasks in there. I didn't bother to do that. The approvals can be optional, but you kind of get the feel for how we could roll through this. I hope this helps. Looking forward to continuing the discussion. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.